That shot was actually one frame from the GoPro, and I'm about to hit the ground with my head. This was literally the last frame before the camera goes dark. What I love about New York is sort of the energy and the amount of openness of people to listen to ideas, to go after them. At the time, I thought I was going to stay here for 2 years and then go back to Barcelona and open a design studio, but then 21 years later, here we are. I never knew that I was going to be a designer. When I was in high school, I was sort of lost. I was a bad student. The capacity to memorize and regurgitate information wasn't never my biggest skill. But then when I was confronted with a white page, I was able to create things that were not there before. So once I started design school, my entire life changed. To me, design is at the center, at the core of who I am and how I look at life. So the design of my apartment, the design of my garage, my studio, the choices that you make. Design is, for me, it's all of those things. It doesn't have just like a narrow definition. These are the colors that I gravitate towards. And the detail, right? If you don't look at this closely, you don't see that one of the things that they've done is they cut each one and sort of displace it just enough so it creates a sort of vibration. It's an incredible, simple design, beautiful. This actually is the exact color of the second bike's highlight. It's like a hot orange. But there's so much to learn, whether it's about one specific bike or the racing history, the sort of the aesthetic aspect of BMWs. I mean, it's obviously an obsession. BMWs have been in my life since I was probably 18. I also connect with objects that are older than me. My furniture is from the 60s. My saxophone is 1964. There's something about connecting with the story, sort of knowing that that comes from somewhere beyond a mold in a factory. And I love that about vintage BMW. To me, riding is about the unexpected, going to and explore places and ultimately putting myself in the way of new experiences. I feel that through riding I learn about the world, and at the same time I get to unravel aspects of myself that get hidden by the business of the everyday. In that way, riding for me is about being fully present in the moment and being able to embrace the now. So Behance is a platform for creatives to showcase and discover creative work. There was no place to go find creatives. We wanted to organize the creative world, and Behance sort of came out of a necessity. It took us 10 years. We started in 2005. We worked for almost 10 years in there. We got acquired in 2012, and then I left in 2015. 6 months after I left, in June, my sister passed away. She was 38, and sort of that threw me for a loop. It was sort of a dark time, and sort of look at my life through her death. Like, what would I do if I knew I had very little time left, right? And the only thing was this trip, this long trip. And I knew I wanted to do it with my friend Joel. This is the person who showed me, BMWs for the first time. And I called him and I said, hey, I want to leave. And he said, okay, let's do it. That's me, that's Joel. You can see because he's taller. It's very hard to explain a 164-day trip linearly and trying to cover everything that happened. It's sort of like a dream. The trip was done with 2 R80 GSs. They were basically stock bikes that made it all the way from Brooklyn to Ushuaia. There's something about how essential this design is, how well constructed it is, and it's everything that you need. For long distance adventure travel, these bikes are really some of the best. I did have an accident. I didn't adjust my rear suspension well. I was carrying way too much weight, and my front end sort of went. fascinatingly enough, the bike was fine. We just sort of slowed down and kept going. Since that accident, I'd been thinking about how to sort of merge the new and the old.
Rally handlebars, hazard lights, battery readout with a USB port, heated grip, 14-gallon tank, 1000cc high compression piston, rally air filter, open exhaust, longer Wilbur shock, elongated brake lever, elongated swinging arm, inverted cam, rebuilt transmission with a longer fifth, crank out engine rebuild, WP Pro fork, 320mm brake rotor, caliper, quick release axle, rims, reinforced frame, powder coat, custom rack, custom seat with motor triple tree, bright Baja lights,
and also see it through this design exercise of color, shapes, rhythm within the design of the bike itself. That's how Myth Motor was born. Now we're taking 2 of them to Africa, 30,000 miles through 28 countries for 6 months, and that would be the real test. I think the beauty of going out there is that you get to experience other people's realities. That is, I think, the difference between tourism and traveling is how you decide to connect with the place. If you keep standing in line with other people from other countries to look at these monuments, you're just going to experience monuments. You're not going to experience a culture. I think everyone should at least travel once in their life and just experience the world in a more direct, raw way. I mean, that's the money shot right there. He's gonna put this in. You can loosen up, man, because he wouldn't put it in. My name is Matias Corea, and I'm a designer.